YouTube. I hope you had a fabulous day. Today is July 12th, 2023. And today I'm going to be talking about Aaliyah, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I've had my doubts, but now it has been confirmed. Some shit just don't seem right. Some shit ain't adding up to your girl. Now, I'm 34. I was born in 1989, and the summers in the 90s I remember was Aaliyah. Recently, somebody tried to have a debate. Just by her conversation, just by this person's conversation, I could tell that they were not in their 30s. Because if you're in your 30s, you know that in summer of 97, Dr. Doolittle, whatever, you know, when she sang, tell me you love somebody, tell me you love somebody, oh boy, I've been watching you like a hawk in the sky. Yeah, I know it. I remember being in summer camp hearing that on the radio every day. Aaliyah was super famous. Let me tell y'all, Aaliyah was like the Spice Girls of R&B. Like, Aaliyah was just super. Aaliyah was the Ashanti of the 90s. Like, when Ashanti came out, and like, even when I was in 7th grade, right? Like, Aaliyah passed away in August of 2001. 9/11 happened, and it's like the whole world, like, the world ain't been the same since Aaliyah died. Straight up. Like, the world been fucked up since she died. I mean, for real. But I remember being in 7th grade, and Ashanti came out of nowhere. No shade to Ashanti. I love Ashanti too. But it was just crazy. And so they're saying that they feel like Aaliyah was a sacrifice. And it's like, now that I'm older, I think they onto something, for the simple fact, Destiny's Child was famous, I'm not gonna lie, but they were not on Aaliyah's level. Aaliyah's level of fame was just super high, y'all. Like, Aaliyah, y'all have to understand, like, Aaliyah did movies. Aaliyah, her music, when she was with R. Kelly, it was alright, but when she left R. Kelly and, you know, did her thing with Timbaland and Missy, like, she really, like, sky was the limit for her, and she was so famous. And when she died, it came out of nowhere because she had so much to accomplish. And Aaliyah, I remember hearing Aaliyah constantly on the radio. I remember, you know, my father is a musician, and so he's very open-minded, and he loves Brandy, and he liked Aaliyah. He loves Aaliyah. And, you know, old school baby boomers, Aaliyah was the Whitney Houston of our generation. You know, Whitney Houston, you know, that's our parents. But Aaliyah was like, she really was one of a kind. And Aaliyah was so loved by Whitney Houston. I have y'all to know, she was supposed to do Sparkle. The movie Sparkle was supposed to be done by 2003. They were so when Aaliyah passed away, y'all, she was supposed to do The Matrix and also Sparkle. And Whitney Houston, I have y'all to know, when Whitney Houston was alive, she just wasn't a singer. Whitney Houston had clout in the industry. So Whitney Houston, she's like, Aaliyah is dead. Whitney didn't want to do the movie, y'all. You know why the movie came out 2012, right before Whitney passed away? You know why? Because Whitney, she's like, what are we gonna do? Like, they was trying to find a replacement, and finally they had Jordan Sparks take the part that Aaliyah was supposed to originally have. The death of Aaliyah was so devastating to Whitney. Whitney was like, I don't want to do this movie. Aaliyah was supposed to do this. And Whitney took it to heart. That's what people don't know. Whitney opened so many doors for younger artists. Like, she favored Brandy. I think I spoke about that in my previous video. She actually called Brandy and was like, you know what, I want you to do the soundtrack for Waiting to Exhale. And then you have Sitting Up in My Room, you know. But she called Brandy, right? And then Whitney had her song with Heartbreak Hotel. She called Faith Evans and Kelly Price. So Whitney was I would consider her a maestro. She was not just talented, but she knew where talent was. She could listen to somebody sing and be like, yep, I want her for that. I want her for that. She knew that Brandy's voice was what was needed for the soundtrack. Because she could have easily picked anybody for that soundtrack. She could have picked anybody. She could have picked Aaliyah. She could have picked Kelly Price. But she said, I want Brandy. And Brandy was like, cool. She couldn't turn that down. And for her, at the time, Brandy was she was a baby. She was 15, 16 years old, being asked by the Queen to do the soundtrack. You know. But with Aaliyah, you know, Whitney was so heartbroken. And they really didn't get into this, but they talked about it in a documentary. She was just so upset by her death. She said, I'm not doing this movie. And it took 10 years. Because when did Aaliyah die? She died 2001. Sparkle didn't come out till 2012, y'all. Or 2011. Right before Whitney died. And she's like, I'm not doing it. So it took a lot of people convincing Whitney to say, okay, we're going to do it with Jonas Sparks. But Whitney was like, Aaliyah is dead. This was supposed to be Aaliyah. You know, so Sparkle, that movie, you know, y'all want to know, you know, they even thought about doing with Beyonce. Whitney was like, we not, you know, this was supposed to be Aaliyah. Aaliyah had a swag about her. Aaliyah had like I can't describe it, but her personality, a lot of people in the industry, she was the person that could do everything. Now, Beyonce's talented, but her swag is not, people don't want to deal with her in acting. People say she can't act, but I think it's a little deeper than that. I think Beyonce has a diva complex. So that's why it is believable that she would want Aaliyah dead, because there's a lot of references to Aaliyah's death. You know, in Drunken Love, it said that when his first thoughts, the trophy in the sand and, you know, whatever. And it's starting to make sense. It really is. And then it's like now you have people that used to work for Beyonce with lawsuits saying she did witchcraft, she did this, she did that, blah, blah, blah. But what I wanted y'all to hear what Mary J. Blige was saying, and I remember it, and I'm gonna let y'all listen to it. Okay.
My tool, you know, the style she did by living. I don't even know what to say. I just know that was a murder. You know what I'm saying? That was a spiritual murder, whether people know it or not. Because God don't kill people. You know what I'm saying? Whether people know it or not. I could go deep, but a lot of people I would have to really bring proof. You know what I'm saying? For what I learned. And she just was cut down in the prime of her life. And it's so unfair. And it wasn't time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I believe it wasn't her time to go, because from what I know, it ain't supposed to go down like that. And just simple obedience, like, you know, your gut always wants you. That's that your gut never lies to you. And something like luggage and clothes and jewelry and all this madness that we worship is called false idols. We need to really look at the big picture right now. And look at how honey could be here right now. So that's it.
Mary J. Blige knew what was up, man.
She definitely did. So hopefully y'all heard that. If you couldn't hear it clearly on this video, just look on YouTube, Mary J. Blige on 106 in Park. And the fact that she would say it was a murder, it was a murder. I definitely feel that, because I was 12 at the time of her death, and I'm 34 now. I never once thought that she would be the type of person. I've never met Aaliyah. I never had the opportunity to meet her. But just the way she carried herself and just the way she appeared to be in the media, on TV and stuff, she just don't strike me as an ignorant female to be talking about some, we need our luggage. If somebody is telling you that everything can't fit on a plane, why would she push it? Then on top of that, they said that this man that was, you know, the pilot, he was high. Why would you do that to her? That shows that you could be famous with money and they don't care. They'll still treat you like a peasant. And then on top of that, they gave her a pill. So that's very believable. Like, they gave her a pill. But one thing that I saw on right before I decided to do this video, I wanted to look up the lyrics for Diva. Drunk in Love is kind of obvious, like y'all seen the video. It is kind of weird with like the plane and stuff like that, but there's some lyrics that I didn't notice before. So it's like, I'm a diva, da 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 da. Just like some people out there, the Beehive, Beyonce, whatever, they'll never believe it. But it's just too much going on. You know, it's just too much. It's just, I would never want to be the person to be like, oh, they do Illuminati, you know, because black people tear each other down. You know, you never hear white people bringing down other white people. So I was always big on that. Like, I don't want to, you know, be hating on Beyonce and stuff like that. But if it's the truth, it's the truth, right? So I'm going to take a second and actually look for the lyrics that was talked about. So now Beyonce, now the person on YouTube was referring to, since 15 and my stilettos been strutting in this game. What's your age was the question they asked when I hit the stage. Now we all know that Aaliyah never wore stilettos. However, people used to ask her age when she hit the stage. Nobody ever asked Beyonce how old she was. So it could be possible that she could have been referencing Aaliyah, but Aaliyah never wore stilettos. Then it goes on to say, I'm a diva, best believer you see how she getting paid. She ain't calling him to greet her, don't need him, her bed's made. This is a stick up, blah, 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 blah. Then this is the part that I never noticed before. It says, all my ladies get it done. I see you, I do the same. Take it to another level, no passengers on my plane. You know, so it's like, we don't know, you know. And then like, especially with the Drunk in Love video, I never noticed that before, but that's kind of weird how they have the trophy and stuff like that in the sand, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. But one thing I wanted to say that I noticed about Beyonce that's true, when they were dating, there was a certain light on Beyonce. And those of y'all who are spiritual, y'all know what I'm talking about. Beyonce had this glow about her before they were married. Once they got married, I mean, I cursed too, but he changed her. And when the Bible says two become one flesh, that shit is true. Like, she literally became him. They became one. Because this girl used to have a gospel song on her album. True Beyonce Destiny's Child fans, y'all remember that? She used to have a gospel song. Her first album, she was singing about her daddy. All of that, you know. And no curse words her first 3-4 albums. They got married. She off the hook now. Basically, her albums now is, to me, parental advisory. She's more sexually explicit. She's cursing up a storm. And I know that Jay-Z had a lot to do with that. Jay-Z, even they had a dinner, and I think it was his birthday or something, and she did pay homage to him. Like, he has a great influence in her music and in her success. And I'm all for that. But there's like a darkness to her. I don't know if she does witchcraft. That's what she's accused of. But you can't deny that there's a certain level of like Even in the videos that she does with him, you know, it went from happy jolly Beyonce. You know how Beyonce is, and I can't go anywhere without thinking that you're there. You know, from that to, you know, what song they came out with? Give me the boss. Like, she just did not look like herself. Ape shit. She just did not look like herself. I'm like, she almost looked like a robot. If you really pay attention, like, Step My Body Biz ago. That don't even sound like her. You know what I mean? I don't know if he told her to sound like that, but you could just tell, like, that's not Beyonce. That's not the Beyonce I know. The Beyonce I know is, you know, jolly or whatever. And this one is just like robot statue. She's just, even when I saw her in Good Morning America in Central Park 2011 versus when I seen her in City Field 2016, it was like two different women. There was like a darkness to her. I'm not gonna go as far as to say I saw horns and, you know, the devil came out. I'm not gonna say all of that, but I will say that there has been a change. I don't know if it's because she's a mom now. Some people might say, well, maybe she got postpartum depression and she's not gonna come out. She's a very private person. She's not gonna come out and say that. Possibly, but my girl has changed. She went from bubbly to, I don't know who this woman is anymore. You know, yeah. So it's something to think about, something to pray about, and I guess we'll never know. But was Aaliyah murdered? I always felt like that. Oh, definitely. I originally thought that R. Kelly set that up. I felt like he got jealous because, like, once she left him, she got super, super famous. And I was like, was he hating on that? You know, who knows? He was far out of her life by then. But who really knows, you know? It's between him, just like Mary J said, it was a murder, and that I really believe. It was set up by R. Kelly or Beyonce. Because it just never made sense to me that when Aaliyah died, where the fuck did Beyonce? And you know what's funny? Nobody knew that Beyonce was gonna come out with an album. I didn't hear anything. She didn't, you know, it's not like she came out with singles, and she came out with a song with Jay-Z, but nobody thought, oh, she finna come in with Dangerously in Love. There was like no preparation for that. I wasn't ready for that. We heard Crazy in Love, and the next thing we knew, boom, album. Like, where the fuck did that come from? You know? And right after Aaliyah died, Ashanti's album came out. Come on, bro. That's just too much of a... And I really do feel like if Aaliyah would have stayed alive, Beyonce would not be that famous. And a lot of people disagree because at the end of the day, Beyonce is like Michael Jackson. Beyonce is really overrated because... And I love Beyonce. But Beyonce, I'm not listening to her when I go to bed. I'm not listening to her when I have relationship issues. I'm not listening to her. The only time I listen to Beyonce is when I'm getting ready to go to a party. Like, literally. If I choose to... I don't listen to Beyonce in the house at all. If her song comes on in the club, I'll tolerate it. But it's not like, oh, I can't wait to get her album. No. Now, Aaliyah, I listen to her almost every night. I have a playlist, so it's between her, Usher, Summer Walker. I'm an R&B girl. Brandy, you know. Aaliyah is lullaby music. Beyonce, she'll keep you up at night. You know, Beyonce is definitely exciting. She's an entertainer. That's the word I'm looking for. Beyonce is an entertainer. So a lot of people try to compare. You can't compare because Aaliyah had her own swag, her own style. Of course, Beyonce, she's an entertainer. She's like a Tina Turner or something. But I'm not gonna be listening to Tina Turner at night to go to sleep. You know, Aaliyah just had a nice soothing voice. You know, every song she sang, whether it be Young Nation, you know, AJ Nothing But Number, even Rock the Boat, you know, We Need a Resolution. Any song Aaliyah sang was nice and smooth. Even Are You That Somebody, nice and smooth. You know, who else could have a baby crying and still make that shit sound, you know. If I let this go, you can say nobody, I talk about nobody. Are you responsible? You know, that was a jam. You know, Rock the Boat, you know, AJ Nothing But Number, just smooth. Just smooth. Now, singing live, sometimes she had difficulty because motherfuckers was screaming and wouldn't let her sing. I see the comments. I see y'all be hating on my girl Leah. When you perform and people are screaming, trust me, it's hard. In church, it's hard. So I can imagine in real life. You know. So, but Beyonce's an entertainer in her rightful, you know, and all the Grammys and the flowers that she got, I'm happy for her. But if she really is behind the death of Aaliyah, I pray that the truth will come out. A lie cannot live forever. That's one thing my father always said. A lie cannot live forever. And those are my thoughts.